What's up guys? Today we're going to be working on the air system for the little Toyota pickup. We're going to be installing a set of electric air compressors in the toolbox here. For the compressors that I'm going to be running, I got a couple Smitty builds here. This is what I'm running in the first gen Tacoma. I really like these, they do very well. We are going to be running 2 of them simply because it will flow a lot more and we're running a bigger tire, so that will help with airing up a lot faster. We got a couple junction blocks here for our power distribution, an air manifold, chucks for the tires. These are the bulkhead connectors that will go to the box, the toolbox for power, gauge, bunch of fittings. We got air line. This is what we're going to be using to go to the tires and run inside the box. And then we have some power cable. This stuff is massive. You do not need to go this big, but this is what I have laying around, so we're going to rock that and we won't have to buy anything else. So that is everything that we're going to be putting in the back of this thing. What we're going to do first is get the toolbox removed from the Toyota first, and then we'll start mocking up these air compressors in there and seeing where we want to place them and get them bolted down. Alright, so I think I got a good game plan going on here. We're going to mount the compressors right here, same as the other box that I did. And then this manifold distribution block that we got going on, we are going to probably mount it somewhere in that neighborhood. And then the gauge will be able to face the outside so you can see it when airing up single tires. And then it will also clear the lip on the lid of the box. So that will go right in that area. And then these are the bulkhead fittings that come outside the box, and we're going to stuff those right there. And then this line right here that comes from the other side of the bulkhead will tie right into that air manifold block. Alright, we got the lines coming outside of the box done and installed. These are the lines that will go to the tires. We have one on each side. Now I'm working on getting the power ran to the box. So for doing that, I'm going to be using these bulkhead connector fittings. So the main lead from the battery on the front of the vehicle will go to the outside of the box here. This passes through the aluminum box. And then on the inside, you'll have this stud sticking out. So what I think we're going to do is, instead of using these distribution blocks, since they're big and we don't really need them, what we're just going to do is run this, and we'll run all of our leads to this terminal, these 2 terminals, and it should be just fine since we don't have a lot of stuff going to all of this. Alright, we're working on getting the compressors mounted now. This is the base plate they come with, which is just basically a plate that you can kind of set on the ground. We are not going to be using that. We will end up mounting these compressors on the feet that are there. So I removed that. Now we're going to set this in the box, and we'll have enough room, hopefully, to get a Sharpie in there and mark the hole locations. Compressors are mounted. Got them all bolted down side by side right there. So next up, we're going to be working on mounting this solenoid. This is what is going to control the compressors, or it's basically just a relay, and that will function the compressors on and off. You want to have one of these because they draw quite a bit of power. So this is a 500 amp relay, and I think what we're gonna do is mount it over here in the corner, because you don't want to have the terminals here in any place that they will get hit or you'll start having shorts. But that should be a good spot, is to mount it over there in the corner. Alright, so we have the compressors mounted, and I got all this stuff removed and sealed up for final install, so those are officially done, as well as these bulkhead fittings. I got those sealed and tightened. So now what I'm working on is I want to add some lights to the outside of the box here so we can be able to see inside the bed. I'll have a link for these down in the description. I use these all the time. These are a pretty awesome light. But anyways, we're going to mount 2 of these on the box. We'll have one right here on each side by the valves, and then I'll probably do one at the back of the bed by the tailgate. So we're gonna work on getting some holes drilled for those and mount those up. And then on the inside here, we're gonna be using these P-clamps so we can run our wire all the way along the front of the box here. Then we'll have this air line right here, as well as the wiring for the light on this side. Alright guys, we have the toolbox mounted back in the pickup. Everything on the inside is finished. Air compressor, solenoid, and manifolds are all mounted up. This is what I got going on in this corner. Got the wiring done as best as I can for right now, which will probably pretty much just be a temporarily permanent. I like how it turned out so far. We have our gauge over here so you can see what the pressure's at. And then this is the switch that's gonna run it. I have that just zip tied up because I want to do a different mounting setup for switches over here at some point. So we're gonna do that for an upcoming trip that we have coming up shortly. But I got my wiring ran all along here for the lights and the air lines that come out on both sides of the toolbox. So what we're gonna work on now is making our lines that go to the tires, and each will have one line that comes out on this side that will air up 2 of the tires, and then on the other side we will use that line that comes out. Alright, so we got the air lines finished up. The way this thing works is you have both sides, or both tires on each side attached to one line. I got the front running to the back here, and then from the back up to the box, and it is the same on the other side. So since they're all 4 attached, they are equalized at the manifold, so they will all receive the same pressure and equalize the way they should be. So you will flip the switch and this thing will turn itself on, and then I have a computerized pressure switch in this thing, so it will automatically air up to 25 psi. Then once it hits 25 psi, it will turn the compressors off, and then if it bleeds off within a 2 psi window, it will kick the air compressors back on and run it back up to 25 psi and shut it off, and so forth. So that's how the automatic air system part of this thing works. And then if you want to air up just a single tire or do a different pressure than 25 psi, you can either adjust the computerized pressure switch, or you can simply switch this switch here the opposite direction and then just watch your gauge and air it up to your desired psi. And then when you just do one tire, all you do is just unplug the line here. You can unplug any of these and it will still hold pressure. These won't leak the way they couple to the Schrader valve. So that's basically how the system works. This is identical to what I have on the first gen Tacoma, other than I did the lines a little bit differently on this one. And I guess we're ready to go ahead and give it a try and see how it works. Well, there we have it. The air system in the Toyota is officially done and working how it should. Glad to have an air system in this, just like the first gen. It is awesome when airing up, especially when it is cold outside and the wind is blowing. You can just chill inside the cab where it's warm while the air system does everything it is supposed to. And I'll be able to air up single tires if I need to, so that'll be a nice addition to this setup versus the Tacoma. So yeah, we're done with that and on to the next thing. Make sure you like the video and comment down below what you think of this thing so far. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.